everybody. Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. I am leaving the office, actually about to meet wifey for a minute to grab a bite to eat and strategize. But anyway, I want to talk to you once again about the importance of intentionally choosing your circle. I have said it on more than one occasions that you will be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. That's not just in income and social status, that's in experiences and the way you think and view things. If you're around a bunch of negative people, you will become negative if you're not already. If you're around a bunch of complainers, you're going to complain all the time. It is simply that. Something that my 11th grade English teacher used to always tell me when she would see me hanging around people that she felt would be a bad influence. She would say, "Son, association brings about assimilation." What does that mean? You hang around someone long enough, you begin to behave like them. You will assimilate into their behavior, their thinking, the way they act. Yes, you will have some influence, but they will have some influence on you. And if their character isn't of the standing that you're looking for, you don't want anything that they have to brush off on you. You got to be careful. You can help people, but you can't have them in your circle because their behaviors are what's the word I want to use? They can pass their behaviors on to you, for a lack of a better term. Can't pull it right now. It's a real simple phrase, but I can't pull it. Anyway, if you're talking about the Bible, Paul said it in the book of Corinthians that do not be deceived, evil company corrupts good habits. And he was quoting Euripides, a Greek philosopher. But nevertheless, it's been an understood truth for thousands of years that you have to be extremely careful about who you associate with. Successful people tend to hang around other successful people, and it's not by accident. They understand that in order to have the type of environment that is conducive for expanding and growing and and improving, you need to be around people who are expanding and growing and improving. Some of them going to be where you at, some are going to be beyond where you at, some may be behind you, but they are moving towards you. You need to have people who are like-minded. It is so important. When you don't have the right people in your circle, they make the journey more difficult. They make the process more draining. They elongate the timetable that you have for achieving any particular goal and for the overall journey itself. You are going to have to, with great commitment, consistency, and fortitude, determine who you're going to have in your life. And it's not going to be easy because a lot of the people that are inherently in your life are not good for you. Matter of fact, there's some people right now in your circle that are not in your corner. These are not just people who are negative. These are people who literally don't want you to succeed. They're in your corner. They may even smile in your face every now and then, but deep down inside, they are wishing for you to fail. The thing is, at some point, you'll develop a sense of discernment, and you'll know those people. But that discernment actually comes from being around people who are authentically in your corner. People who are literally pulling for you. And I'll tell you that a great deal of these people will not be blood relatives. A great deal of these people will not be people from back in the day. These will be people that will cross your path because you're moving towards your destiny. These will be people who are there because you attracted them with your genius, with your heart, with your pure energy, with your yearning to be better and their yearning to be better. Like energy attracts. Energy attracts the type of energy It is. That's why it's hard to sit up. That's this thing called energetic homeostasis. And what it means is that you have to be in harmony with how you see yourself. You have to be in harmony with the things you say you want. You can't just say you want them. A lot of people talk about the law of attraction without understanding that it is simply one component in a greater complex dynamic, and that you can sit up all day and say that I want it, but if it doesn't align with how you think, if it doesn't align with how you talk, if it doesn't align with how you move, if it doesn't align with how you feel, you can't attract it to you. You can't pull it to you because you're not in a homeostasis. You're not in alignment with how you're thinking, how you're moving, how you're behaving, how you're carrying yourself, and what you expect based off of your own self-image or self-concept. There's so much that goes on, but in order to change those things, you've got to be around people who are like-minded. I can't tell you enough. You're going to have to do some very difficult purging. You have to sit up and realize if a person is for you or against you. You have to realize if a person is just bringing you down. And you know a bunch of these people. You know the people that when the phone rings and you look at the call ID and you see it, you got to brace yourself because you know it's going to be a 30-minute conversation of nothing but negativity, whining, complaining, and talking about everybody that's wrong or gossiping. And you don't want to be a part of that because there's nothing positive in gossiping. There's no positive energy that comes out of gossiping. It will lower your energy output and your vibration and your frequency on a Hertz scale at an unbelievable rate. When people talk about energy, a lot of people talk about it as if energy is a symbolic term. No, energy is a real term. Everybody emits energy. You are emitting energy every second of the day. Even when you sleep, you're emitting energy. And the thing about energy is that it is going to be reflective of your state of mind. It's going to be reflective of how you're viewing something at any given time. There are people that can emit positive energy in some of the most negative of situations because they have trained their perspective to see the positive, to search for the positive, to believe something better is going to happen. So they are never at a point where they allow negative circumstances or situation to pull them down. That's something that people marvel at. With me, it's like, do you ever get upset? Yeah, I get upset. But I have a 90-second rule. I literally have a 90-second rule. In that 90-second rule, I've got 90 seconds to be mad, curse, cry, get upset, yell, and feel sorry for myself, and all those things that are natural human instinctive emotions that people go through when stuff isn't going their way. But after 90 seconds, I pull myself out of it. It used to be 24. I'll give myself a day. You got a day to sit up and wallow in this shit, then you're going to have to get yourself together. Excuse my language. And then I decided, well, if I can change it in a day, can I change it in an hour? And then, if I can I do it, give myself an hour and then change it? Then I realized, well, if I give myself an hour, look, I'm not going to choke myself on emotion and say I'm never going to be emotional. But what I'm going to say is I'm going to give myself 90 seconds. And within 90 seconds, I need to be focusing on the solution and not the problem. And what happens is 90 seconds isn't enough time to totally get to a point where now my energy is literally cyclically draining me because I focused on something negative too long. Now everything that's moving around me and in me and through me is negative. And once you get in that cycle, that leads to depression. Why? Because everything is negative. You began to train yourself to focus on negative. In a certain period of time of focusing on that one thing that's wrong, everything that wrong starts to pop up. Not all you see is wrong. Not because you're sitting up and saying stuff like, I can't win for losing. Nothing's going right for me. And, all these things that you're saying, and you're actually starting to build a mindset of nothing but negativity. You can't get out of it. You got to be careful because there's people like that just being in your circle, just being in your presence will create that because you are gearing yourself up for however long they say, if y'all going to a game, man, this is going to be 3 hours of nothing but negativity. No, you don't need to go to the game with them. And some of these people are my cousins. Some of these people are my siblings. I get it. When I say cut them off, I don't mean shut them out of your life completely. I mean, if you're talking to them every day, if you're talking to them 3 times a week, you need to cut that back to a month. You need to cut that conversation down to about 15, 20 minutes. Hey, man, I love you. Hey, girl, I love you. But I got to go do this. Hey, maybe we'll talk again, and you got to simply let them know, look, right now I'm on a journey and I'm going somewhere and I've had to streamline my time. I'm sorry, I'm busy, but I'm getting somewhere and I am not going to be denied. There's absolutely nobody in my life, nobody that is worth me being in a negative state. Nobody, there are going to be times that me and my wife don't agree. But again, I got 90 seconds to get over that. And here's the thing, the 90 seconds has absolutely nothing to do on whether or not she gets on my side or she comes over to my side of thinking. The 90 seconds is on whether or not she changes her viewpoint. It's not going to change who I am and where I'm going and what I need to do. It's not going to change how I love her, because I don't love her based on how I feel. I love her based on the covenant and the commitment I made to love her. I love her. When I'm mad at her, I actually treat her better when I'm mad at her than when I'm not. Why? Because I make a constant and consistent and asserted intentional effort to be better in the way I treat her, because I don't ever want it to be that I'm treating her bad because I feel bad. But in order to do that, I got to be careful who I'm around. I can't have somebody around me that purposely treats their woman wrong. That negative energy will pass over. You've got to change what you focus on. You've got to change what you behave, how you're thinking, what you're speaking, and you've got to change that circle. When you're in the right circle, it just feels different. When you're in the right circle, you don't feel alone. When you're in the right circle, you don't ever become overwhelmed. Why? Because that's somebody you can pick up the phone and call that's going to speak power. That's somebody you can pick up the phone and call that's going to speak anticipation and expectation and positivity. That's somebody that's going to fan your flames. That's somebody that's going to remind you of just why you started doing what you're doing. That's somebody that's going to remind you of just how awesome you are. Those are the people you need in your circle. You don't need the people trying to remind you what you used to be 10 years ago, what you used to be 15, 20 years ago. You don't need somebody to remind you every 10 seconds of why businesses are failing. You need somebody to show you that one reason why they succeed, because businesses are succeeding each and every day in this world. And to have one that doesn't necessarily succeed initially is no big deal. It's a process of learning. You don't quit. You're not in it for the quick run. You're in it for the long haul. You're in it of creating a better life for yourself and for your progeny and their offspring. That's what you're about. And you need to find people who are thinking the same way. You've got to change your circle. Last year, I started talking about this a lot. I've always taught it. I've always been an advocate of intentionally picking your circle. But last year, I really started talking about it because I started to think about how epic 2022 was going to be for me. And one of the things was that in my high performance planner, one of the questions I have to answer every day is, what can I do today, intentionally do today, that will enhance who I am and enhance the quality of how I move? And that answer consistently is cultivate more meaningful relationships. Why? Because I have a tendency to move in solitude a lot. I have a tendency to be so focused on what I'm doing that the responsibility of and the energy it takes to cultivate relationships can be somewhat emotionally cumbersome to me, because it's like, man, it takes time to cultivate a relationship, because cultivating a relationship isn't just about you. Cultivating a relationship is about also understanding what they need, understanding how you can be a positive force in their life, and that takes energy. So I have to purposely do it because I'm so used to moving in solitude. But that's one of the things I do. So, but in the process of doing that, I decided, you know what? I teach it a lot. I'm constantly telling people to guard their circle, to build their circle, and so forth. I'm going to actually facilitate it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to create a network where everybody in the network is going to be screened for positivity. There's going to be some standards. There are going to be some rules. There's going to be no negativity, no bashing, no derogatory statements towards anyone. This is going to be about fanning people's flames, uplifting them, encouraging them, mentoring them. And I'm going to bring in some people that I trust that have certain levels of expertise in different areas. And we're going to teach, we're going to grow, we're going to encourage. And I called it Epic Realm because I'm looking for 2022 to be an epic year. And we started it last year, and we'll continue to go on, and we're building it and growing it. We're doing weekly Q&A sessions. We're doing breakout sessions in rooms. We are encouraging people to start businesses. We have a few people that we've gotten off on the business route. We have breakout classes in mental health. entrepreneurship, finance, relationships and marriage, parenting, and so much more. And we're just getting started. And I want to invite you to be a part of this. I want you to be a membership because there's so many benefits to doing it. And I want you to be in a situation where you can organically grow your circle in a way that's going to be beneficial to you. And a lot of people, especially with the pandemic, aren't getting out like they used to. And a lot of people don't know where to go. Where do you go to meet positive people that are on their A game? Well, I've created that. And I'm so excited because the first thing that happened that blew my mind was I was creating this for people who probably hadn't worked with me before. People who want to work with me but can't afford or, are not ready to get into high ticket items, which is where most of my programs are, high ticket items, but they can get close to me and have access to me on a regular basis and not just looking at a video. I do a lot of videos, but not looking at a video or reading a book, but literally be able to talk to me in an environment on a regular basis where they can get inside my head and I can lend to them. And it's a part of something that's already created so they can expect it and they're not infringing upon me because I created the space. And so I came up with the Epic Realm community. What I didn't expect was about 40% of past 40% of past clients to join. They jumped. They went, I'm not gonna miss this. This is gonna be awesome. So now I've got my experts on site. Because the people who are joining that in the past have already started business, got their business out successful, doing great things, advanced in whatever area. That some of them went for their doctorates and all that stuff, and they've got them now. Some have launched businesses, some are dealing in relationships, all that stuff. But we have them there, and so that's the exciting thing. And I just wanted to really invite you to be a part of it. So the link is going to be in the description box. Jump on this, join, and it's an annual membership, and for $100 you're going to get so much. It's such a benefit. And this is what I'm going to do to even sweeten the pot. Anybody that joins in the next 24 hours from the time that I post this, because I'm not posting it immediately because I'm about to meet baby, but for anyone who joins in the next 24 hours from the time that this video is posted for 24 hours, we'll receive a free Rapid Change Breakthrough Session. That's a $350 value. My Rapid Change Breakthrough Sessions are $350. I'm going to give it to anybody who joins within the next 24 hours. And so that's the value of the membership times 3.5. You can't beat that. And there's so much more that you're going to get. Like I said, all types of breakouts, a weekly Q&A session with myself and other experts on the team. And you are going to be in an environment where you're constantly being encouraged, constantly being advised, constantly being helped. And so again, I invite you to join. On that note, I'm about to get off and get ready to go spend a little time with baby, strategizing about the moves we plan on making on this year. And so on that note, I'm getting out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day.
The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution is you. It's necessary you take responsibility for it, that you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And here's something you've got to resolve. Say this to yourself every day. It's not over until I win.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you, moving around, getting some things done. It's been a crazy week. On top of everything we're doing to close the year out strong at Rick Wallace Enterprises, this is also the week leading up to my wife and I's anniversary, which is on Saturday. So trying to make sure we're prepared for that. So it's a lot going on, but I'm excited because I wanted to close the year out strong. Our goal next year is to literally impact and change the lives of 1 million people. We set out to do that in one way this year, and we're up in the ante, and we want to literally, in ways that we count, literally be able to touch and impact the lives in a positive way of 1 million people. But we're not waiting to 2022 to start. We're literally getting started, building momentum, looking at how we can modify current existing programs to make them more accessible, and so many others. And I just reclaimed the rights to a program I designed for an institution some years ago, and they had rights to it for 5 years. Well, I just reclaimed it a few weeks ago. I've been working on it, amping it up, updating it, modifying it, and now it is available for you. Crushing limiting beliefs. You've heard me talk about limiting beliefs before. You've heard me sit up and say the only limits you have in this life are the ones you accept with your mind. When you take those limits down, when you remove those limiting beliefs, you will be surprised at how far you can go and the things that you can accomplish. Just imagine if Orville and Wilbur Wright would have held on to the limiting beliefs about human flight and what you could do. What about if Roger Bannister would have never believed that you could run the mile in under 4 minutes? What would happen if the person who created the cell phone and ultimately the satellite phone came up and said, man, you got to have lines to even make this work. Nobody's ever going to have a phone that you can talk on that isn't connected to a wall. What if all of the things that you look at now, that computer, that laptop, that tablet, that watch, all the things that it does, what if somebody accepted the limiting beliefs about how that thing operated at a particular time and point, or even the fact that it would ever exist? Just think about how life would be. Well, the thing is, you have those same capacities. If you can conceive it in your mind, you can make it a reality. You have the ability to create through your thoughts. But the problem is, your thoughts are reflective of your beliefs. If you change your limiting beliefs, you change the way you look at the world, you change the way you move, the way you operate, and so much more. It is immensely important to understand that. Well, crushing limiting beliefs is, like I said, a course that I created for another institution. And I gave them the rights to use it for 5 years. I just got it back. I just revamped it, amped it up. And here's the crazy thing. It's going for 70% of what they were selling it for. And 70% off, of what they were selling it for. And not 70%. As in 30% off, 70% off of what they were selling it for. I want as many people to get it in their hands. Now, granted, this course isn't working directly with me. This course is a course you get and you work on at your pace, with your passion, with an understanding of what it is you want. There are a little over 13 different lessons that are very specific that walk you through the process of changing and dealing with each of the limiting beliefs that you're probably focusing with or dealing with, and how to accomplish taking each one of them down and building up positive beliefs and unlimiting beliefs to allow you to do some exceptional and extraordinary things. If you knew where I came from, if you knew what I've been through, if you knew some of the challenges that I faced, and you look at what I've been able to accomplish in life, it's because I refuse to limit my beliefs. Now I'm introducing to you an opportunity to step out from the shadows of those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back, and to do it in a way. This is accessible. If you're serious about changing your life, this program is accessible. It's so accessible. It's accessible enough that the institution that I sold it to wanted to buy another 5 years. And I said, no, I can see how this can help the people that I'm working with directly. It was great. It was a great way for my programmers to get out and reach other people, with other people doing the work to put it out there without me having to work. I did that. For 5 years, my program touched lives without me having to do one thing. But now I want it in my hands. I want it as a tool that I can use to reach other people. So here it is. Crushing limiting beliefs. And it's a Rick Wallace Presents series. There's going to be a series of these things. Rick Wallace Presents. This one is Rick Wallace Presents Crushing Limiting Beliefs. You're going to want to check this out. You're going to want to be a part of this. You're going to want to use this in your life. You're going to want to be on your A game going into 2022. I keep telling you, don't go into 2022 flat-footed. It's going to put you at a disadvantage, and it's going to make what you're trying to accomplish in 2022 that much more difficult. Right now, I'm working on my 2022 as I talk to you. You're going to be one of the people that are going to have their lives completely changed by the work that you're going to do on this course as you move into 2022 and beyond. Look, the link is going to be in the description box, close to it. Click that link, order it. It's all digitized. The program, you're talking about 13 lessons. You're talking about an entire slide presentation of affirmations that you watch every day, and that helps you move. And these slide affirmations can also be personalized. You can ask about that on, but these affirmations are positive. They're universal affirmations that everybody should be using when it comes to limiting beliefs, but they can also be personalized, and you can ask how that can be done. But just know that there's a wealth of information. This is going to be a process, but you're going to enjoy it. You're going to have control. You're going to have it in your hands. This is the chance to jump up and make something extraordinary happen in your life. So again, go to the description box, click on the description box. Let's make things happen. On that note, I'm about to get out of here. You have an unbelievable day, and we will